Hey, I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good week. Now, I'm trying to talk quietly, which is hard for me, and I'm trying to contain myself, which is equally hard for me. But just behind me there is a harbour seal, and I just left the boat about half an hour ago to walk Zephyr, and it's been raining all day, it's been horrible. And as I was walking, there in front of me was this mass of seal. And what I am suspecting, I had a little look, I haven't gone too close, I've zoomed in with the camera and it looks in good health. So I think it's probably had a great big fish supper or lunch and it's just laying it off and resting it out over there. So I had a quick look at the newspaper reports and they have said that in 2019 there was a spotting of a pair of seals actually at St Ives on this river, but it's all by itself. So it's all on its lonesome. I'm going to keep an eye on it. And I'll keep you updated as we do this vlog. So I showed you last week at the end of last week's vlog, sorry, I just have a quick look. Yeah. Still there. So last week I did a little snapshot of a clip of Zephyr and we were in Upwell. And I put on Twitter, you know, when you sometimes go to a new place, and when you're a continuous cruiser, you go to new places all the time. You go to new places and sometimes you are treated like you're an old friend. And Upwell was one of those places. So let me tell you the story of what happened in Upwell. So we left March at the beginning of the bank holiday weekend and we travelled all the way to beautiful Upwell. And when we arrived, we saw the wonderful church and the moorings were just opposite the church. And these moorings had a water point, which was fantastic. So we set about for the rest of the bank holiday weekend, having as many shelves as possible, washing up as we went along. And we knew that come Tuesday, after the bank holiday weekend, we'd be able to go over to the butcher, Brian Tweed, the butcher, that's what the note said, to get the key for the water point. So come Tuesday morning, I got some donation money ready to give the butcher, and I left the boat and off I went over the road in order to get the key for the water point. Because by now, at this point, we didn't have very much water. Brian wasn't open, so I had to go back to the notice to read what you do when Brian isn't open. So I've gone over to the butcher's is shut, and now I'm on the hunt for Sheena the gardener, who has the magic key. I don't even know where Sheena the gardener would be, what Sheena the gardener looks like, whose garden does Sheena garden? Off I go. Into the local shop to find out more. So just been to the Premier stores looking for Sheena, and a lady in the queue gave me some detailed instructions to find. So much to the amusement of the moorhens, once again Zephyr and I were off outside making our way to the bottom of Upwell to try to find Sheena. So just knocked on Sheena's door, and Sheena has resigned as the gardener, and so she doesn't have the key. So the butcher's is open tomorrow at 8:30, and I think I'm about to get a key off him. So the following day I managed to get the key and I had a chance to explore the wonderful fenland of Upwell. The fens have always been a unique part of England. Few places today retain an individual character, but Fenland certainly does. For many hundreds of years they were regularly underwater for a great part of the year. They were therefore mainly pastoral economies, supplemented by fishing and fowling. However, where arable land was available, it was often extremely fertile. The drowned fens seemed a wasteland to some, but there were many products available for harvesting, some of very great value. They included fish, especially eels, wild birds, peat for fuel, sedge and reed for thatching. Attempts to drain the fens and to protect land from flooding began as long as Roman times and continued throughout the Middle Ages, but the great draining took place in the 17th century. James I invited Dutchman Cornelius Vermuyden to England to help solve the problem. This led to the great works of large-scale drainage of the mid-17th century in Fenland that followed, like the Old and New Bedford rivers and the Denver Sluice, and they are some of the largest man-made landscape features in England. But by the time it was Victorian Fenland, steam was being used. And soon the Fenland soil became so fertile it became known as the breadbasket of the country. What I love about the fens are the big skies. Yeah, Upwell. Just really lovely. I was sad to leave Upwell, but continuous cruising, you leave places and you go to new places. So we then were about to move towards Salters Lode Lock, and that is the lock that takes you onto a tidal section of the River Great Ouse. So we're about to go to Salters Lode Lock, which will take us on the tidal ooze, and then, you know, hopefully then we'll start to head towards Cambridge. Oh, I'm going all over the place. It's really bendy, it's windy, it's been raining all day, it's cold. We're still going to do it. We're going to get our life jackets ready. This is really... I mean, that was just crazy. So the lady who was just filming before, she'd just come over and had a chat. She's a local, and she's just given me a really fantastic bit of information that seal is called Neil the seal, and it's quite well known in this area, and it's been in that exact same spot before. So that's Neil the seal. In the recent weeks, and I'm sure you've noticed this as well, there's been an abundance of the hawthorn fly, or St Mark's fly as it's sometimes known, because you normally see them around the 25th of April, which is St Mark's Day. So here is the magnificent hawthorn fly. Once they're flying, they only have 1 week to live. They spend most of their life as larvae, eating rotting vegetation in the ground. But once they emerge, the males fly in order to find a female. The male's eyes have a groove in the middle, which splits them apart, one eye allowing them to track females above, and the other eye keeping their relation between them and the ground intact. The females are larger than the males, but once they have been mated with, the females will lay their eggs in the soil and die. One week of life, but in that time they make a difference to the planet in the pollinating that they do. And now it's time to sit back, relax and enjoy some mindful moments from the River Great Ouse. Like a silvery moon with white flecks of grey, shining in the afternoon crescent as you lay, eyes deep craters, dark pools to look inside, holding you weightless by the ooze's water deep and wide. Tiny little astrofly, back legs flail, exploring as you go, orbiting the seal moon sky, keeping clear of bream lurking in the ooze below. Just as a moon will wax and wane, these two will do just what they ought, making the most of given time, even if that time is short.